Good morning, friends. We continue this morning our reading of 1 Samuel. Thank you for joining us. Please to take a moment to post a greeting, share a comment, let us know that you are here with us. And I encourage you to hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so yet, and share this and any other content here as you may be so inclined to do. So let's start as we always do by taking a look at the big picture here and narrowing in on 1 Samuel. Yes, 1st and 2nd Samuel once were one story, and really they are still. Look at this. David's lifeline. Look at that art. It begins in 1 Samuel and continues into 2nd Samuel, which tells you that, yeah, this is one story. We'll get there eventually. We're in chapter 25. David is on the increase. Saul is on the decrease. We know where this is going. We can see it. So let's read. There's not really too much to say about it beyond that. So I will be reading from the left-hand column, which is the complete Jewish Bible. The right-hand column has the text is found in the New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition. So, friends, we have a Christian Bible and a Jewish Bible side by side. I will use the right-hand column primarily to explain those moments when Jewish biblical language is a little different and can trip us up for our Christian biblical language ears. And so, what exactly is this? Things like right here where we began, navel. Well, that's Nabal. Abigail is Abigail. Those are the two things that are jumping out so far for me. We resume this morning at chapter 25, verse 14. Good morning, Audrey. Good morning, Mom. Thank you, friend. Let's read. But one of Nabal's men told Abigail, his wife, David sent messengers from the desert to greet our master, and he flew on them in a rage, even though the men had been very good to us. They didn't harm us, and we found nothing missing during the entire time we went with them while we were out in the countryside. They served as a wall protecting us day and night, all the time we were with them caring for the sheep. So now decide what you are going to do. For clearly harm is on its way to our master and all his household. But he's so mean that no one can tell him anything. Abigail wasted no time in taking 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 sheep already prepared, 6 quarts of roasted grain, 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 fig cakes, and having them loaded on donkeys. Then she said to her young men, "Go on ahead of me, and I'll come along after you." But she didn't tell her husband, Nabal. She was riding her donkey down past the hiding place in the mountain when David and his men descended toward her, and she met them. David had said, "What a waste it has been guarding everything this fellow has in the desert, so that nothing of his was missing. He has repaid me bad for good." Then he swore, "May God do the same and more to David's enemies, if I leave alive even one male of everything he owns." When Abigail saw David, she hurried to dismount from her donkey, fell on her face in front of David, and bowed down to the ground. Having fallen at his feet, she said, "It's all my fault, Lord, all my fault. Please let your servant speak in your ears and listen to what your servant says. Please, my Lord, shouldn't pay any attention to this worthless fellow Nabal, because he's just like his name. Nabal means boor, and his boorishness stays with him. But I, your servant, did not see my Lord's men whom you sent." Interesting thing to note side by side there. The Complete Jewish Bible says boor. The NRSV UE says folly. I tend to think boor is a little stronger. Interesting thing to know. Okay, let's keep reading. Verse 26. Therefore, my Lord, as Adonai lives, and as you live, inasmuch as Adonai has kept you from the guilt of shedding blood and from taking vengeance into your own hands, therefore may your enemies and everyone seeking your harm be as worthless as Nabal. Meanwhile, let this present which your servant has brought to my Lord be given to the men in my Lord's service. And please forgive the offense your servant has caused, because Adonai will certainly establish my Lord's dynasty, for my Lord fights Adonai's battles. And nothing bad has been found in you all your life long. Even if someone comes along searching for you and seeking your life will be bound in the bundle of life with Adonai your God. But the lives of your enemies he will fling away as if from the pouch of a slingshot. Then, when Adonai has done all the good to my Lord that he has said about you, and made you ruler over Israel. What happens here will not have become an obstacle to you or a cause for remorse to my Lord, neither that you shed blood without cause, nor that my Lord took vengeance into his own hands. Finally, when Adonai has dealt well with my Lord, then remember your servant. David said to Abigail, Blessed be Adonai, the God of Israel, who sent you today to meet me. And blessed be your tactfulness, and blessed be yourself, for having kept me today from the guilt of blood, shedding blood, and taking vengeance into my own hands. For as Adonai, the God of Israel, lives, who has kept me from harming you, if you hadn't rushed to meet me, not even one male would have been left to Nabal by morning. So David received from her what she had brought him, then said to her, Go up in peace to your home. I have listened to what you said and granted your request. Abigail came to Nabal. There he was in his house holding a feast fit for a king. He was in high spirits because he was very drunk. So she told him nothing whatever until the next morning. In the morning, when he was sober and his wife told him what had happened, he had a stroke and became as motionless as a stone. Some 10 days later, Adonai struck Nabal, and he died. When David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be Adonai for having taken my side in the matter of Nabal's insult, and for having prevented his servant from doing anything bad. On the contrary, Adonai has caused Nabal's bad deeds to return on his own head. Then David sent a message that he wanted to make Abigail his own wife. When David's servants reached Abigail in Carmel, they said to her, David has sent us to you to bring you to him, to be his wife. She got up, bowed with her face to the ground, and said, Your servant is here to serve you, to wash the feet of my Lord's servants. Abigail then hurried, set out, and rode off on a donkey with 5 of her female servants following her. She went after David's messengers, and she became his wife. David also took Ahinoam of Israel, Jezreel. Both of them became his wives. Meanwhile, Saul, had given Michal, his daughter, David's wife, to Palti, the son of Laish, who came from Galim. We're going to pause there, friends, and next time we'll pick up at the opening of chapter 26. And oh, look, Saul is hunting for David again. After making a vow to never seek David's life again. At the cave, outside the cave. And yet here we go again. The king seeks to kill David, hunts him down. That'll be next time. Good morning, Linda. Friends, thank you for joining us. Thank you for reading with us. We'll begin our Wednesday prayers tonight with evening prayer, and we'll read something, probably not First Samuel. Probably Job. Probably. Have a blessed day.